The city's almost sleeping now. A single light remains. I trace the outlines of the rooftops through the window pane. Somewhere beyond the quiet streets, beyond the distant trains, a thought of you keeps drifting by and settles here again. If the night could carry words, I'd send them with the breeze, not to ask for anything, just to let them reach the place where you are resting, the place I cannot see, like a small light crossing darkness slowly over me. The clock moves without hurry. The room grows soft and blue. I keep finding little moments that still remind me of you. Not enough to break my heart, not enough to let it heal, just enough to stay beside me, like the quiet that I feel. If the night could carry words, I'd send them with the breeze, not to ask for anything, just to let them reach the place where you are resting, the place I cannot see, like a small light crossing darkness slowly over me. The sky will turn to morning before I think to sleep. Until then I'll leave this window open and listen to the street. Curtains move a little in the afternoon. Dust is dancing in the sunlight to a borrowed tune. The kettle sings its lonely song, the hallway hums along, and somehow all these quiet things feel like they belong. The neighbor's dog is barking at a passing cloud. Someone laughs across the street, then disappears somehow. The day unfolds so slowly, like pages turning pale. Most of life keeps happening in details small and frail. Maybe we were never meant to hold on to the light. Maybe all the golden hours were passing through the night. Every road becomes a river, every face becomes a dream, and nothing stays exactly the way it seemed. The train moves through the distance like a thought I almost knew. The sky hangs low above the town, painted silver blue. I watch another season slip softly through my hands, like letters never sent away to places never planned. Maybe we were never lost, just carried by the years, drifting through 1,000 rooms, 1,000 hopes and fears. Every ending leaves a shadow, every shadow leaves a glow, and life keeps growing quietly below. Curtains move a little. The evening settles in, and somewhere in the fading light, the world begins again. The washing hangs behind the houses, slowly turning with the wind. Someone left a bicycle leaning where the summer used to begin. A radio plays through an open window, words I almost recognize, and the afternoon keeps folding into smaller kinds of light. The bookstore on the corner closes 5 minutes before the rain. The owner waves at passing strangers, though he'll never know their names. Everything feels temporary, everything feels strangely true, like the sky has learned a secret. It's not telling me or you. Maybe all the days we wasted were only finding where to stand. Maybe all the roads behind us were drawing lines we couldn't plan, and the world keeps turning softly without asking what we know, like a garden growing somewhere far below. never trying to turn around. Maybe nothing really leaves us. Maybe everything remains hidden in familiar shadows, quietly beneath our names. And the world keeps breathing slowly through the cities and the trees, while we learn to love the questions more than certainty. The washing hangs behind the houses. Evening settles on the road, and somewhere past the distant rooftops, another small light glows. The train arrived without a warning, like it always seemed to do. A few birds crossed above the station, then disappeared from view. I stood there for a little longer than I needed to that day, watching sunlight on the pavement slowly fade away. Someone turned the page beside me in a quiet second-hand store. The dust was floating through the window like it knew what it was for. Nothing happened worth remembering, nothing anyone would write. Still the afternoon kept shining in a soft and borrowed light. Maybe that's the way it finds us, not in fireworks or rain, but in little passing moments we don't notice until they change. And the light stayed a little longer on the rooftops and the trees, like the world was gently telling something small to me. Flowers near the crossing had already started to bend toward a season neither of them could completely understand. I thought about the years behind me, then forgot what I was trying to say as a breeze moved through the alley and carried it away. Maybe all the things we lose become part of who we are. Tiny lights beneath the surface, quiet as the stars. And the light stayed a little longer than I thought that it would stay, like a hand upon my shoulder before it slipped away. The train was gone, the street grew still, a window closed beyond the hill, and somewhere in the evening air a small light remained.
Curtain moved across the window like a hand I used to know. The afternoon was growing lighter as the shadows drifted slow. A bicycle stood by the corner where the paint had started to fade. And somewhere in the distance a dog barked twice and went away. I watched the leaves beneath the railing turn in circles on the ground, like they had nowhere left to travel, yet never settled down. The sky was pale above the rooftops, the kind that comes before the rain. Everything felt strangely fragile, everything felt safe. There are places the wind remembers long after we are gone, small and ordinary moments carried softly on, like the light upon a table or a voice across a room. Nothing stays forever, still it blooms. The train passed through the edge of evening like a thought I couldn't keep, and all the words I meant to tell you folded quietly in the breeze. Some things never ask for meaning, some things never need a name, like the smell of summer pavement after sudden rain. There are places the wind remembers, hidden underneath the years, tiny pieces of our living still appearing here, in the dust between the pages, in the cracks beside the door. Nothing truly disappears, it becomes something more. A bell rang somewhere I couldn't tell, and for a moment the whole world seemed exactly where it was meant to be. Down the road where the pine trees lean into the silver sky, we were young as the frozen streams running softly by. Cold wind moving through our coats like a half-forgotten hymn, carrying words we never spoke back into the wind. Smoke would rise from distant roofs, slow against the snow. Every light inside the dark had somewhere warm to go. Footprints fading on the hill before the morning came. Nothing ever stayed the same, yet nothing really changed. Oh, the snow keeps falling over fields and rivers wide. Oh, the road keeps turning like a river through the pines, and we move so slowly through the seasons passing by, like a song still drifting through the winter sky. Far beyond the valley line where the northern colors sleep, we could hear the ocean breathing underneath our feet. Every mile another story, every cloud another name. All the years we spent becoming part of something strange. Oh, the snow keeps falling over fields and is wide. Oh, the road keeps turning like a river through the pines, and we move so slowly through the seasons, passing by like a song still drifting through the winter sky. The rivers carry where we will go. The wind remembers the mountains know. The rivers carry where we will go. Morning settled on the hillside like a blanket made of frost. Every branch held up the daylight like it feared the light was lost. Through the fields the crows were turning black against a pale blue sky. We stood still beside the roadside as the years went drifting by. There were names we used to carry like stones beneath our coats. Now they float upon the valley like forgotten little boats. Snowflakes gathered on the fence line, quiet as a passing thought. Every season leaves a question, every answer comes undone. Oh, the distant roads are calling through the valleys wide and slow, and the winter keeps unfolding where the northern rivers flow. We are only passing through here like the shadows of the trees, but the wind remembers every little thing we leave. Far beyond the sleeping mountains, past the edge of what we know, there are fields of silent color buried underneath the snow. Someone hums a simple melody, soft enough to disappear, yet it stays inside the evening, long after no one's here. Oh, the distant roads are calling through the valleys wide and slow, and the winter keeps unfolding where the northern rivers flow. We are only passing through here like the shadows of the trees, but the wind remembers every little thing we leave. The sky grows wide, the day grows small, the rivers run beyond it all. The sky grows wide, the day grows small, the rivers run beyond it all. Sunlight rays a window, watching dust drift in the air. An old book lies open, half a page and left somewhere. Nothing much is happening. The afternoon moves slow. The warmth left in my coffee has already started to go. Sunlight doesn't say a thing, it just moves across the room, over chairs and empty corners, like it always knew. No one called it here, no one asked it to stay. Still it lingers for a while, then slips away. A bicycle goes by somewhere down the street. A distant train is fading beyond the rows of trees. Nothing worth remembering, or so it seems today. Yet whole seasons disappear in ordinary ways. Sunlight doesn't say a thing, it just moves across the room, over chairs and empty corners, like it always knew. No one called it here, no one asked it to stay. Still it lingers for a while, then slips away. Sometimes when I close my eyes, an old afternoon returns. Not because it mattered much, just because it was. Furnace stays the same on the table, on the floor, on the empty wooden chair by the open door, following the quiet hours as they slowly pass, leaving nothing in its wake except the light it casts. By the window, watching dust drift in the air. For a little while, that's enough. beyond the rooftops, a handful of birds appear, carried by the morning wind, then disappear. They lean into the open sky without a map to hold, following a line of air only they can know. I watch them cross the sunlight high above the fields, turning with the moving wind without asking where it leads. For a moment I can almost forget the ground below and drift among the quiet things the birds already know. The trees bend for a while, then settle back again. Cloud shadows wander slowly across the distant land. Nothing seems in such a hurry, nothing needs to prove. The birds keep drawing simple shapes across the afternoon. I watch them cross the sunlight high above the fields, turning with the moving wind without asking where it leads. For a moment I can almost forget the ground below and drift among the quiet things the birds already know. Maybe freedom looks like this, not running from the rain, just opening your wings a little each time it comes again. The birds are getting smaller against the fading blue, still they ride the evening air like they've always known what to do. I don't need to follow them or leave this place behind. Just learn to move with the wind a little more each time. Far above the rooftops, a handful of birds remain, floating through the open sky until I can't see them. The kettle sings softly in the corner of the room. You ask me how my day was, like you always do. But something in the silence arrives before the words, a distance neither of us made, yet somehow still occurred. The evening light is fading across the kitchen floor. You look out through the window a little longer than before. I start a small story, then let it trail away. Not because there's nothing left, just nothing left to say. Maybe it's already happening, like summer leaving town. Not all at once, not with the sound. Just a chair moves slightly farther than it used to be. A little more space each day between you and me. The books remain together on the shelf beside the bed. Your coat still hangs exactly where it's always been. Nothing here is broken, nothing has gone wrong. Yet I keep hearing endings inside familiar songs. Maybe it's already happening, like summer leaving town. Not all at once, not with the sound. Just a chair moves slightly farther than it used to be. A little more space each day between you and me. I don't know when I noticed, or if it started then. Reaching for the same things at the same time. Maybe it's already happening, the slowest kind of rain. No storm above us, no one left to blame. Just two shadows growing longer in the evening light, standing in the same room, watching different skies. The kettle has gone quiet, the room is growing dark. You turn another page, and I listen for your voice. Stopped sometime earlier, I never heard it go. The sidewalks still remember, and the places where they glow. A bicycle lies sleeping against a grocery wall. The evening keeps arranging things without me at all. Your name appears for a second inside my moving mind, like a station through a window already left behind. I try to hold the feeling, but it changes as it comes, turning into something smaller than the thing it started from. Maybe nothing happened, maybe something did. The trees don't seem to notice, the birds don't seem to care. The wind keeps crossing through them like it always has, and I keep walking slowly down the street after rain. upstairs in a house I've never known. Someone pulls the curtains closed, someone heads back home. I wonder if that's how it starts, not breaking, not goodbye, just a door becoming ordinary, one evening at a time. Maybe nothing happened, maybe something did. The sky keeps changing colors without asking anyone. The wind keeps crossing through it like it always has, and I keep walking slowly down the street after rain. There was a time I thought I'd notice the exact moment things would change, but most things leave the way daylight leaves before you think to look. Maybe nothing happened, maybe that's the strange part. The road is still the same road, the stores are closing soon. A train moves through the darkness, somewhere out of sight, and I keep walking slowly until the lights are gone. The puddles hold the sky for a little while, then let it go. Fields are turning slowly into shades I cannot name. Gold becomes another color before it fades away. A crow cuts through the distance, then disappears from view, leaving only moving grasses and the sky becoming blue. There's an empty wooden chair near the window facing west. Sunlight settles on its back like it came to rest. Nothing seems important, nothing has to be explained. Still I find myself staring as if something has remained. Maybe every ordinary thing is trying to hold the light, the table, the road, the garden wall, before it leaves the night. Maybe beauty isn't rare, maybe it's always there, waiting in the quiet places. People pass without a care. The trees are standing darker now against the evening air. Their branches twist like questions no one thought to answer. A distant house is glowing beneath the rising stars. Someone closes up the curtains, someone leaves a light on. Maybe every ordinary thing is trying to hold the light, the table, the road, the garden wall, before it leaves the night. Maybe beauty isn't rare, maybe it's always there, waiting in the quiet places. People pass without a care. The sky keeps changing colors long after sunset ends, as if it isn't finished, looking at the world yet. Maybe every ordinary thing carries something of its own. The worn-out fence, the dusty books, the stones beside the road. Nothing lasts forever. Evening knows that too. Still it stays a little longer, painting everything anew. The fields are turning slowly into shades I cannot name, and for a little while it feels enough.